Hi, my little panda cubs. It's your big sis here. Aggressive venting. Here we go again. This has actually become one of my favourite builds, aggressive venting, which is strange because a long time ago I never liked it. It was one of my least favourites, but now it's one of my mostest favourites. So what is aggressive venting? Well, the point of aggressive venting is to deliberately overheat your drac. And when you overheat your drac, it puts out 6 fire and heat damage. It puts out 60 heat and a whopping 500 fear within a 5-meter radius. Now, while the fire and heat damage is nice, that's actually not the reason I'm using this weapon. I'm using it specifically for the fear. Aggressive venting is great for keeping those bugs off you, keeping those bugs off your teammates, and especially if they're down and you want to clear the area, just overheat your drac around them, boom, bugs gone. And I tend to use my secondary to clear the swarm once they're all feared and off me. So how do we set up an aggressive venting build? There is a couple of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you my way, Big Sis's way. This is how I build my aggressive venting, but of course, as always, I'm just telling you what I use and what works for me, and you're free to go and experiment yourselves. So before moving on to the mods of aggressive venting, think about which sidearm you'd like to take. 2 of my favourites are the bolt shark with pheromones, and I paired that with an IFG, because the idea is you can pheromone bolt a Praetorian or an Impressor, throw down an IFG, get all the bugs grouped together, and then use the aggressive venting. As I said, when I use aggressive venting, I'm not really using it for the fire and heat, I'm using it specifically for the fear, and that's why this is my favourite loadout. I'd prefer to take the boomstick with double barrel and a boomerang, of course. I always take boomerang for those flying bitches. I'm a big boomerang fan. With double barrel, I've got huge swarm clear, and then of course I've got my aggressive venting to keep bugs off me and keep bugs off any downed teammates. So onto the aggressive venting itself and its mods. What mods does Big Sis recommend? Well, we want aggressive venting to fire fast and overheat fast, don't we? So on tier 1, that's a no-brainer. We go high volume plasma feed. On tier 2, we go larger battery. With aggressive venting, because we're shooting to overheat, we're spending all of our ammo. It can be an ammo hungry build. Plus, we're not really using the base damage of the drac to kill bugs. We're using the aggressive venting mod to do this with the fire and heat damage, and using the fear to repel them. So we don't need damage on this tier, but we do need that ammo, so larger battery. Tier 3 should go without saying, hot feet. With hot feet, when you overheat, you move significantly faster, and with a mod like aggressive venting, where we are deliberately overheating often, this shouldn't need any explaining. Tier 4 is preference. I personally go for armor breaking, mostly for things like Stingtail, but splash damage is a great one here. I used to run splash damage on this setup a lot, but you pick whichever you like. Even PCF will work just fine if you're spraying into swarms of bugs. But for tier 5, we want thermal feedback loop, for the same reasons as tier 1. With thermal feedback loop, your gun fires faster once it's over 50% heat. So when it's over 50% heat, you'll get a faster rate of fire and overheat faster, which is exactly the point of this mod. We want it to be overheating, we want it to be overheating quickly. If you watch some of my latest missions, I sort of dance into the swarms of bugs, I jump into them, I overheat my Drek, and I use hot feet to get myself out of there. I'm dancing around with this setup. This one I wouldn't recommend to new scouts, and especially those new to the game, but for those who are a little more confident about not going down in missions, I actually take static discharge over invulnerability. If you're new, again, I'd recommend you stay with invulnerability for now. But with a mod like aggressive venting, we're always in the bugs' faces, right? We're right there in their faces. We want to be in the middle of that swarm. We want as many bugs as possible to be within a 5-meter radius of us. So I actually take static discharge on my aggressive venting build, because it gives that little bit of chance to stun nearby enemies. But again, this one's not too important. The Elmer mods, they're not very good anyway. They all need reworking and buffing a little. Apart from invulnerability, that one's fine, obviously. I do think static discharge adds just a nice little bonus when you're inside that swarm. Okay, my darlings, and that's aggressive venting overexplained. I hope I've given a few tips of how to use aggressive venting efficiently. Feel free to check out my more recent Beyond Legendary 3 videos, because I basically take aggressive venting all the time now. I'll put my no Bosco run one up there, up there, ding, there. That's my no Bosco has 5 run with aggressive venting. Go watch that if you want more tips on how to use it. But just to summarize, here's the build I recommend, that Big Sis recommends for aggressive venting. I hope you go and have a play and experiment. Let me know in the comments what you think of aggressive venting. Is it one of your favorite builds? Is it one of your least favorite? Why is that? Let me know. And I'll see you next time for a Today's Scout Learns. I'm thinking of redoing the PEX one, because I've learned a lot since then. I've changed my mind on a lot of things too. So probably Today's Scout Learns PEX is coming next, and then we'll move back onto the bestiality. Alright, I'm hungry. I'm going to go find somebody to eat. Zippity.